Hi guys, you're listening to Reality Check with Georgie,
And Tunde
and today we're going to talk about long distance relationships
in the digital age.
in the digital age. Yeah,
That's where we are living.
yeah. For whoever didn't know that, we are living in the digital age.
Welcome.
So the thing is that we were thinking about this phenomenon that is emerging, has been emerging for a while now, because of the internet and because of the lack of time that people have and because of the many possibilities they have to access people from all over the world. Distances are not that hard to overcome, and sometimes it happens that you meet a person that you like very much, maybe your soulmate, maybe your loved one, maybe your special someone, and they are at a very big different distance from you. And we're gonna talk today about why that happens, how that happens, the good side and the bad side of it. So, Tunde, what's your input?
Yeah, well, personally, I'm living in a long distance relationship right now, and it's mainly sustained by the internet age, let's say like that. Like, most of the time, we are communicating via some kind of form of video chat or
Where is he?
just chat. And he's living in Germany, I'm living in Romania, so.
Where did you meet?
We meet here in Cluj, in Romania. I was studying here, and I was in an organization that took care of the foreign international students, and
I see.
that's how we
So you
started
took
to.
care of him.
Yeah, let's say like that. I still do.
Aww.
I'm trying to.
Okay. And how do you keep in touch?
Well, we meet like I don't know, once in every 1.5 months or 5 weeks or so, and in the rest of the time we are basically WhatsApping or Facebook messengering or Viber talking or Skyping and so on in order to yeah,
Stay in
to
touch.
hear each other's voice or just stay in touch with each other, find out what the other person is doing.
So how long did you have together before he left? For how
Um,
long have you been together,
yeah,
like in the same city?
around 6 months.
Hmm. Do you think that's necessary? That's a requirement for a working long distance relationship to spend some time, like physical time, with a person, like initially?
I think it's essential. I mean, I don't believe that you can just. I don't know. Me personally, I don't believe that you can develop a relationship just online, like without ever meeting or just without um, yeah, without ever meeting before, or without being together for just a very short time. Because yeah, the physical contact and the physical experience contains like matters a lot, and that's how you kind of create a relationship and then you want to sustain like with
I
all sorts of tools and everything. But I think if you don't have this kind of basics, then I don't think that it will work, because you don't have that much experience to share. You don't have um, maybe
memories.
memories to share, and I don't know.
I agree with you, but I just remembered a story. One of my friends, just last week we were talking about gay girls. So she's gay,
Okay.
and she's from Bucharest, and she really liked to travel a lot. So she went to Singapore for a couple of weeks, and then she came back to Bucharest. And after that, she met on this dating website a very special girl from Singapore. And they talked and probably Skyped and stuff like that. So my friend, in a period of 3 months or so, packed everything, sold everything, moved to Singapore to be with this girl that she's never met until that point. Um, to my surprise, honestly, to my surprise, 2 years later, they're still together. So it was like the biggest leap of faith that really, really paid off. So now they're together. She's working there for a magazine. She's writing, getting along pretty well, from what I know. And it was just so surprising because I agree with you. If you don't have that
Okay.
base, it's just so risky. I would never have the guts to do something like that, like meet somebody halfway across the world. No, the whole world across the world, not halfway. And just risk my whole everything, my life for that. But look, sometimes it pays off, so it is possible.
Yeah, most likely it is possible, but I mean, you have to know, you have to feel that that's a person. I don't know, maybe you can do it. I never had similar experience. I think maybe, yeah, maybe when I was very young, but
What
that
I
I don't
had, for
remember.
example, were very good experiences with somebody, maybe when we were physically together, and then they left, and things really just kind of started going wrong.
Okay.
Or I had very good connections with people, like I was just talking to them all the time, WhatsApping, Skyping, and stuff. And when they came and we had to actually be together, like physically, it didn't work at all
Yeah.
because even though it's a big part of our life, this virtual contact that we have, it's so different sometimes from our lives. Like
Yeah.
maybe if you're talking once a day with a person on Skype, it's a lot when they're away. But if they are in the same city as you and you just talk once per day with them, that's not enough anymore because
Yeah.
before you knew that that was the distance. But now why are we not meeting? And another thing that I want to ask you about is trust.
Yeah.
How do you trust? How do you manage with just not being there? Like he's not here for you. Maybe when you need him, you're not there for him, like physically when he needs you. So how do you manage to trust somebody when they're so far away from you?
Yeah, I really don't. We are doing quite well in this sport. Like, let's say like this. In this manner, we don't have any problems. We always call each other when the other person has something important to do in that day, or we always give each other a message, and you kind of know, like,
So
I
you're
kind of
always in
know.
touch.
Yeah, we are kind of always in touch. Like, we always know when the other person has something, like an interview or an exam, or I don't know, when the other person doesn't feel good, because we know each other so much already that even from a text we kind of get that the other person is not doing okay, and then you just call them and you just um, yeah, you just try to be with them how you want to, like cyberly. I mean, you can't be there, but you try. And I don't know, it's also about, we kind of let each other know what we are up to. Like, the other person kind of always knows what we are doing in that moment
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah. Okay.
whatever. And it's not about stalking each other. Like, it's not that we have to report, but it's just we like to know what the other person is doing, and we like to
That's good.
support each other when the other person is going through something, and we are curious what the other person um, is up to in that moment. And I don't know, that I think that's how it works out.
I have another question. What do you do
Okay.
in the few days that you spend together? I imagine you like have so much to say, so much to do. Like you just
No, it's the other way around, because we are talking quite a lot. And of course, we are talking in this time as well, but we prefer to we prefer to do things together, like go out, go to movie, go to cinema, go to a concert.
yeah, but you're always against the clock. I mean, you always know that there's a definite number of days that you're gonna spend together. So I suppose every moment is super important. And
Yeah, every moment is quite super important, and that's why it's always so nice when we spend like 1 week together. It's just always so special, because it's not something you don't get to be bored of it. Like,
yeah,
not.
I imagine.
But I don't know. Somehow it was the same in the first 6 months, and even though we were always together, sometimes of course you get annoyed because that's how we are. But it's kind of special. And when we meet, we're trying to keep this somehow. How we can. And we are talking, but we're not talking that much, because we are talking so much on the phone, because that's the only way to be in touch, by talking, and that makes you so tired, because sometimes you don't want to talk, and when you are together you don't have to talk all the time, so we can just be with each other and just do things together and share experiences. It's cool.
If you were to choose, what would you think that are the three main basic ingredients of a successful long distance relationship?
I don't know if if I could like make up a recipe for this, but I think like just to just to be in touch, just to be always interested what the other person is doing. Um, just to I don't know, try to trust them and to transmit them that you trust them, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and don't get frustrated when they don't answer you in the right in that moment exactly, because most likely they have something to do and you trust them that they have something to do. So you don't freak out and call them 100 times on Skype in order to kind somehow catch them, and then and then totally freak out that they didn't answer and make up with all sorts of stories. So you just be very patient and wait until they answer that they answer, because they are going to answer. I don't know. I think this is like one, and always try to um, plan the next time you're gonna meet, like
Yeah, yeah, that gives
to
you hope.
yeah, I always try to have the timeline when you are going to meet, like, there are just 5 more weeks, there are just 4 more weeks, there are just 3 more weeks, like, I don't know.
So let's talk a bit about what this means for our society, for the way we are, the way we perceive the world. Uh, what do you think is this really changing the way that we are in a relationship, or the ultimate goal will always be to be physically together as much as possible? Are we looking at a future where we're having half relationships, just the
Yeah.
way it evolves, or do we see this distance part as a transitory period before actually being together all the time?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Today, people have careers. People work in several countries throughout their working lives. People studying foreign countries. People uh, do travel or volunteer in different countries. And if you are with somebody, you have to accept that the other person has a goal in his life to achieve, and to get to places that he or she wants to get. And in that moment, you sometimes you're not able to be with that person because he has to accomplish his way of life. And um, you have to accept that, and that will create the this kind of network where people are going to get in touch via all sorts of online methods. And I think that's something that will happen a lot of times in the
Is that
future.
enough?
Um, I don't know if it's enough for the rest of our lives. Most likely, it's not enough. But in many people's lives, these phases are happening, and they are constant. Like, I don't know. You spend a few years together, then somebody has to leave somewhere, and then you spend a few years or a few months like without each other. It's something very difficult. It's very challenging. Like, I don't know. I would I think people should like train themselves to be able to do it, because it's not easy, because it's not something that people are used to, but it will happen in the future. And online communication and online like tools, like, I don't know, Skype or other similar applications that are being found recently, will help people to accomplish or sustain the relationships.
I hear you, Tunda, but this reminds me of the way that actually the society doesn't perceive these relationships as you're saying. Most people are like, okay, you have a boyfriend, but he's away, so you don't actually have a boyfriend. And like asking you, probably. I mean, I remember when I was in long distance relationship, everybody was asking me, why am I making my life so hard? And that is not a real relationship.
Oh, it
And
doesn't matter.
well, it does matter to look at the other side of the society that says that this is not serious. I mean, when you have a relationship and people are not taking you seriously, for the relationship that you know that you're having, that can be pretty frustrating. Maybe if you want to talk to your parents about this stuff, you could encounter some really big problems in the sense that you will not feel understood for what you chose to have and to be. And also, there's a lot of people who have this tendency to say that there's a lot of fish in the sea. Why make your life harder? Because you are in a way making it happier, but also harder for the extra effort that you need to do every month to see this person.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, I had some kind of similar
Feedback.
feedbacks. Like, people are asking me why am I not moving there. People are asking him why he is not moving here, and it's not that maybe in the future I would do it, but right now I can't do it now, and he's not able to come here either. So it's not that something that you don't want or you maybe want to do in the future, but um, if you don't feel accomplished with your life, you can be happy. Like, you can give up everything on a relationship, which is very, of course, it's very important. But if you don't feel good about yourself and what you have done in your life, you won't be able to give as much as you want in your relationship. But I hear you, and I understand what you say, because also my parents were like kind of putting pressure on me because of this, because they were like making fun, like, you're like President Obama and the Chinese president, like traveling via plane in order to meet with each other, like, until when do you want to do this, like,
Oh.
and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's what I was
Yeah.
talking about. It's hard enough without people joking about it and not taking it seriously, because perhaps sometimes you doubt it too, and you just don't need people to tell you why not to do it and why it's not a good idea. But I think that so. Do you think that this is a good thing in the big scheme of things to be able to entertain relationships further away? Because my question actually is, what do you think is different now than it was like 50, 100 years before? Is it something
that's
that's
very
always
broad.
existed, or is it more common now? I mean, from this point of view of long distance relationships, not in general. I know that there
Yeah.
were some big loves that sent each other letters and loved each other for years only by writing to each other, but that's a little bit different what we're doing now with the internet, because we can also have image, sound. Um,
Yeah, and now they are developing, like, I don't know which company, some kind of app where you can actually touch the other person and you can feel the texture of the person's skin. Like they
oh, like a
scan the
device
texture.
or.
Yeah, no, like an app. Basically, you have to like kind of sign in or register with
Mhm.
your whatever skin, and then you can like touch, like we have a screen, you can touch the screen and you can feel the other person's skin. Yeah, so
That's
technology is it's
weird.
evolving. Yeah. The difference, I think, it's together with the globalization and the borders opening more and more, people are able to travel and to live in other
And to
countries.
believe more, maybe to believe more in long distance relationships.
And
Maybe
maybe
before it was like, okay, we have no way to stay in touch, we should just
this
leave it
can
at
also
that.
this can also be, but also the frequency, and this is caused also by the frequency of long distance relationship. There are more and more, and that's why maybe people start to get used to this kind of way of being with somebody. um, yeah.
Well, thank you for the input. I can see you're getting pretty emotional about
Yeah.
this. That was it for today.
And we are waiting for your emails, comments, and phone calls, of course, to tell us your story when it comes to long distance relationships and the digital age. Thank you so much. See you next week.